We got a great episode lined up for you. In fact, celebrity historian Raffi Andonian is joining us because today, can you believe this? It is National Fast Food Day.
Woohoo!
Oh, yeah, woohoo! So we're going to find out what that is all about. Welcome back, everybody. We've got celebrity historian Raffi Andonian joining us now because today, literally today, is National Fast Food Day.
That's right. Call me the fast food of history. Always coming in with quick hits on history.
I love it. Yes. Let's go through the drive-through. What do we need to know about, Fast Food Day?
And the start of it and origins of it.
Yeah, sure.
You know, fast food, much like other food, reflects the culture that it's in, right?
Sure.
Or it kind of reflects the era. So let's go to the 1920s. What do you have happening in the 1920s? You had the popularization of cars. Think about like the Model T Ford that had come out just recently.
Right.
And how did the Model T get successful? In part with the assembly line, right? We all know that story. Well, guess what? White Castle, one of the first, if not the first.
White Castle
That's right. Fast food joint was really good about making burgers in an assembly line fashion. To this day, if you go in there and look, that's how they make it. Everything is like a very specific process to make it efficient.
Yep.
And one of the big ones from that period, as a result, is KFC.
Okay.
KFC is the guy, of course, Colonel Sanders was testing his chicken recipe at a gas station. And if you travel throughout the South, how often you had fried chicken at the gas station?
Right.
Pretty common,
Often,
right? That is something that happens all the time.
It's a staple.
Well, exactly. So he's trying it there, and then entrepreneurial opportunity for him, of course, and many others who are starting to establish restaurants. But KFC is what we recognize today. That blows up because of road trips as well. So the story of the road trip and the assembly line in this period comes together.
So it was a
for
confluence
fast food.
of all of those things that made fast food, gave it its start. And obviously, since the 20s, I mean, let's talk 100 years ago. Now we're still experiencing it to this day.
That's right. Well, speaking of fast food, to this day, post-World War II is when you had the rise of the big cars and drive-thrus that we think of.
Sure.
So why don't you look under your seat? I got a little prize in there for you. I just whipped it up. Fast food, this is the fastest fast food you've ever seen.
How did you get this in here?
Oh, my God. Speaking of fast food today, there's McDonald's.
So we got McDonald's, and
we gotta have Chick-fil-A.
You gotta have Chick-fil-A, right.
One of the ways that I think fast food is so American is it has regional favorites.
Catch.
Yeah, let me grab one of those myself.
Nice catch. Love it.
So one of the ways that I think fast food is so American is the regional favoritism. You go to different parts of the country. If you're in SEC country, Chick-fil-A is preferred. You go out west to where I grew up in California, In-N-Out is what they love.
In-N-Out burger.
You go throughout the Midwest, Culver's is a big deal, right? Or White Castle as you go towards the Northeast. So different areas have different passions for these different foods.
Mac, what's your favorite? I mean, we're talking about all of your snacks, but what is your favorite sort of fast food joint to check out?
You know what? I have a question.
Yeah.
Is Chipotle considered fast food?
Well, that's a good question because they don't always have a drive-through, but they do assemble it in an assembly line.
But some do have a drive-through.
Do they?
If they have a drive-through, is that fast food? Because if so, it's got to be Chipotle.
That's that funny category, right? Fast casual is what it's known as today. There's a little bit extra piece to it. We think of it a little bit different than the sort of consistency and sort of the maybe quality of fast food.
Right.
We think of it as maybe a little bit more premium.
A little elevated.
Yeah.
Yes, but you know what's funny? I've read surveys in the food world where people ask, fast food consumers whether they want to change some of the ingredients and maybe make them more premium. And surveys consistently show that people do not want that because we like that category as well. The indulgence. The guilty pleasure, right? Like candy. Do you like candy? I like candy. It's a guilty pleasure. I want it to be guilty. I don't want it to be nice. If I want something nice, I'll go somewhere else.
Yes.
You're right. Yeah.
What's your go-to fast food?
I'm originally from California, so my favorite is In-N-Out. Sorry to all the Whataburger people out there who might be from Texas.
Is there a rivalry? Something?
Absolutely, because in Texas, back to our regionalism thing, Whataburger is not found all over the country. Neither is In-N-Out all over the country. So you have this sort of rivalry, especially Texas and California being big states,
Sure.
So there's that rivalry going on. But if you're going to ask me sort of for one that's massively available, I actually like McDonald's. There's nothing like the Big Mac. See, I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
I like to eat healthy generally, but you know what? A Big Mac, I want it exactly the way it is. I think it's a great combination of different things.
Do you think it's something about like knowing what you're ordering?
Yes. It is. Consistency matters. And actually, it makes sense. We look down on consistency sometimes today because we say we want everything to be different and fresh and this and that.
Make it fresh.
Right. Make it. However, think about the period in which these things came up. If you're going out on a road trip or traveling far away to a place you don't know, you don't have the same resources that you have today, you're going to want to know that, am I going to get what I expect in the future there? Is it going to be clean, reliable? You see what I'm saying? And to this day, I have some friends, for example, who if they want to go on a road trip and they want to have a clean bathroom for their kids, for example, they might go to a fast food joint because they don't trust a gas station. Yeah. So consistency goes beyond just the product. Yeah. It goes into the whole environment. You want to know what you expect when you're going out into a new area that you don't know anything about yet.
Absolutely. But what about you, Jason? Where are you stopping?
So we have made it a tradition when we go on a road trip that we stop at Popeyes. At some point, we'll stop at Popeyes chicken and get the spicy chicken sandwich.
Another one that starts out of the South in Louisiana. So there you go with the fried chicken
and
out of
the
the South.
And the flavors of that, I think it kind of makes us feel like home. Like this summer, we went to Minnesota. And at some point along the trip, of course, we had to stop in at a Popeyes on the journey there. Yeah. So,
and I love the examples you guys bring up, and we're talking about being in the car, because, of course, fast food, the way we think of it, like McDonald's and Taco Bell and other places, have spread all over the world now. Yeah. And yet, despite the fact that those brands have spread all over the world, they don't treat them the same way we do. You don't have the drive-thrus nearly to the same extent, if at all, depending on the country. And you're not necessarily eating on the go. It's another way it's American for us, the way we interpret our fast food, is we're eating on the go, right? That's much less the case, say, if you go to Europe, you're supposed to sit down. And even when I go to a fast food joint in Europe, you actually go in and sit down. And it's seen more as like a premium place, if you will. And you can even get beer and hang out, which is very different than how we treat it. So it's not necessarily just about the product, but the brands grow over time and they manifest differently internationally. So
it's interesting that you bring this up. And kind of the last point I want to make here is Slim Chickens. Shout out to Slim Chickens, which was brought up right here in Fayetteville. Fayetteville-based national and now international food chain. We just a couple of summers ago took a trip over to England and Wales, and right there in Cardiff, in the mall, is what you're describing was a sit-down Slim Chickens experience.
I love it.
And that place has just kind of blown up, taken over, and I love that for them.
That's right. That's right. It's a really great example of how these brands and foods can adapt across the world. And fast foods influence across the world, even if it is being consumed in different ways in its local region areas.
I love that. So grab yourself a Big Mac or whatever you like to eat on National Fast Food Day and beyond, because we all love that indulgence, just like Raffi said. Raffi, thanks for joining us as always. Cheers. Yeah. Stick around. We got more happening later. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Remember, you can find us out there on your social media platforms. You can send us an email over at laterwithjasonsewell.com. Before we get out of here, we got to thank all of our great guests, including the one and only celebrity historian, Raffi Andonian.
Yeah, and Pillar Reef, because that music video was slapped.
That slapped. That was a great music video. And, of course, thanks to Mac for joining us for the food and for the entertainment. Absolutely, yes. That's our show. We'll see you later, alligator.
After a while, crocodile.